Yes.
I'm nervous.
Can you guys see my screen okay? Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You'll be able to use the Q&A button on your screen to type your answers or your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org. That's CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website. That's CACRAO.org. Now I'm going to turn it over to our presenters.
All right, good morning, everyone. I hope you are all well, and thank you for joining us on this session. My name is Ani Subotic, and I'm a senior admissions counselor at Winthrop University. I've been in this position for about 5.5 years now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Guadalupe Sanchez, and I work with Radford University. I serve as the Assistant Director of Multicultural Recruitment, and I'm super excited to share some information with y'all today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Corey Brown, and I am an regional admissions counselor at Randolph College. I am going into year 4 of admissions, and I am excited to express and share all this information about Randolph with you guys.
And good morning, my name is Katia Castellon and I'm from Nicaragua. I have been working at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro for 15 years. We're the most diverse campus in the state of North Carolina, and we have more than 2,000 Latinx students in our campus, and we're excited to be here with you this morning. We will be talking about everything you need to know to apply to our institutions, and we will start with our admissions requirements.
All right, just before we get into this, I just wanted to give a disclaimer that if you do ask a question, it is private. We are the only ones who are able to see it. We have someone that will be able to answer your questions to the best of their abilities, unless it's particular to an institution, then we'll hold off on that. We'll try and get to all your questions. We won't say any names, but we will address the questions if we feel like they're important to address to all of you guys. So please do not hesitate about asking us a question, only we'll be able to see it. All right, so let's get started. So admissions requirements for Winthrop University. So we actually, this year is our first year on the Common App, so we do accept the Common App. However, our personal application, we have our own through our website. It is free until November 1st. After November 1st, there is a $50 fee associated with our own application. So I definitely encourage you, at least at the moment, to fill out our application through our website. That way you don't have to spend that $50 on the application fee. We require, aside from your online application, a high school transcript and official SAT, ACT scores. So you do have to submit those through the SAT or ACT website. And we do offer fee waivers for any out-of-state students. They are based on your GPA, high school rank, and your test scores. So those are automatically awarded to you, provided that you apply by February 1st.
Awesome. So I will go ahead and start covering some of the admissions requirements for Radford University. So students that are interested in applying, you can actually submit your application 2 different ways. We have our application up on the Common App. So if you'd like to apply to Radford, we are on Common App. But you can also apply directly through our website, and that's just radford.edu/apply. It's really up to you, whatever application you want to use, whatever is most convenient to you. Our application is free, so you don't have have to pay an application fee or anything like that to submit your application. Besides the application itself, the only other thing that we will require is your high school transcript. And we do require that you submit an official high school transcript to our office. And as of this year, we've actually transitioned to a test optional application process. So we no longer require that you submit the SAT or ACT test scores, regardless of whatever your GPA is. So no test scores are needed anymore if you're wanting to be considered for the admissions process.
Yep, and speaking on behalf of Randolph College, we are on Common App as well for those who want to apply through Common App, but on our own website, we have our own application and it's free of charge. We are someone who's just going to require high school transcripts with your application. We are test optional this year, and just a few other things that we will gladly accept, but are also optional. Letter of recommendation, portfolio, resume, essays. So please keep that in mind. All of those things are optional, but are used to help you guys get in. But once again, we do have our free application on our website at randolphcollege.edu.
And for UNC Greensboro, the application is a very simple process, and it is the same process even for DACA or undocumented students. So it is the same process for everyone. You can apply through our webpage, spartanlink.uncg.edu. You can also apply through the CFNC website, which is for North Carolinians only, and also you can use the Common App. There is a $65 application fee, but if you have a fee waiver, we accept fee waivers from ACT or SAT if you're planning on taking the test. We require an official copy of your high school transcript and an essay. It's optional for freshman students. And what we do is we use that essay, so you will be eligible for our scholarships. And test scores for the year of 2021, test scores are optional this time. If you want to submit them and if they happen to be a little bit low, they're not going to impact your admissions in any way. But if you have good scores, then we're going to take them in consideration. But as I said, it is optional for the year 2021.
All right, so cost of attendance for Winthrop University. If you guys didn't know, we are a public institution in South Carolina, Rock Hill, South Carolina, right across the border from Charlotte, North Carolina. So we do have a difference in tuition for out-of-state and in-state students. So as you can see, for our in-state students, it's about $16,400 tuition per year. And then on top of that, it's room and board. You are required to stay on campus your first 2 years unless you live about 50 miles within Winthrop, then it's an option for you. But typically if you're outside that 50-mile range, you have to stay on campus, which you can see the prices for that as well. If you're an out-of-state student, the cost of tuition is a little bit more expensive. It's almost twice the amount as in-state, and the room and board does stay the same, but I will talk to you guys about any out-of-state waivers we offer in the next slide. So I'll hand it off to Radford right now.
Thank you. All right, so for Radford University, one of the things that I tell my students all the time is that we are considered one of the most affordable institutions within the state of Virginia. So you can see there for in-state, our total cost of attendance is $20,962. And that does include your tuition and fees, your housing, and your meal plan. So it's inclusive of all of that. The only thing it doesn't include is your transportation expenses, personal expenses, and your books and supplies. For out of state, the cost does rise a little bit. It goes up to $34,444. We understand that the cost can be a pretty key factor in whether you choose Radford University or any other college. So we want to make sure that we do work with you in terms of financial aid and scholarship information, and we will provide additional information on that on the following slide.
So on behalf of Randolph College, as you can see, our cost is $37,680. We are a private institution, and out of state is the same cost. We don't have an in-state or out-of-state cost. Everyone pays the same or has the same cost of school. But we do offer a variety of ways of scholarships and different scholarship opportunities for students. And pretty much it's more of a, once we get to a point where we can figure out, okay, where a family is financially, we sit down and we can have those conversations about what is affordable, and what you can withstand, what you can withhold as far as cost goes, and then work with you based on that. So I always say, look at the sticker price, but never think that you're out of or it's too much, because like I said, we do work with families, and our financial aid office does work with families in the same sense, and help them figure out everything that they need to, looking at payment options and loans and things like that.
The University of North Carolina at Greensboro is a public institution, and unfortunately in North Carolina, DACA students and undocumented students are classified as out of state. And as you can see, there is a difference between our in-state and out-of-state tuition. Our in-state per year is only the $7,404, and room and board is $9,482, which totals per year for an in-state student, $16,886, which is very affordable. And as Guadalupe mentioned, this is not including transportation or the books, but this includes your tuition and fees and your room and your meal plan. For out of state, it is $22,564 for tuition and fees, and the room and board is the same, $9,482, for a total of $32,046. Now, the state of North Carolina offers a benefit that is called business and sponsorship, and this is for any student that is classified out of state. This only applies for community colleges. So I'm talking about a benefit that DACA students can take advantage of. If your employer agrees to pay for your tuition, then your employer will be billed as in-state. Now, your employer can be a friend, it can be a relative. A lot of parents, regardless of the immigration status of the parents, they own businesses, small businesses, and if they're registered in the state of North Carolina, they can pay your tuition and they will be billed as in-state. But remember, this is only for community colleges. There's no minimum weekly work hours required to be eligible for this benefit. And again, as I said, this benefit only applies to community colleges. So what we do with our DACA student is we work with them. We make a plan of study where they go the first 2 years to the community colleges, take advantage of this benefit, paying in-state, and then they can transfer in 2 years to finish their major at UNC Greensboro. Also, I want to mention for DACA and undocumented students to take advantage of AP courses while in high school. Early college, in North Carolina, we offer early college. So while in high school, they can finish their associate's degree at a community college, and that will save you 2 years of tuition, because while you're attending high school, you can take courses at the community college free. They're completely free. So you can finish your associates, and that will save you 2 years in tuition and 2 years in time. So by the time you finish your high school, you only will have 2 years left to finish your bachelor's degree. So those are little things that you can take advantage of in order to save money, and move forward with your higher education. Another important thing is first year students, they are not required to stay in campus. So if you want to live at home and commute, you're welcome to do that, so you can save room and board and only pay for your tuition and fees. And also freshmen, they can bring a vehicle to campus, or not. It is optional. So let us know how we can help. And as Corey was saying, don't look at the sticker price. The key question is, how much do I have to pay out of pocket? So don't, be scared of the tuition cost. The ultimate question you have to make yourself is, how much do I have to pay out of pocket? So once you're given all of your scholarships and grants, that's the question you need to ask. How much it will cost you, how much you will have to take out of your pocket to pay for your education.
All right, so how to pay for college. So for Winthrop University, I mentioned earlier that we do offer scholarships. They are merit-based, or they're also referred to as academic, and they are based on your GPA, your test scores, and your class rank. Now, just as a disclaimer, not all of these have to be really high for you to qualify. We have like this kind of point scale. So we have students with a higher GPA and a higher class rank and maybe like an average test score or vice versa or somewhere along the median, and they still qualify for these scholarships. So for out-of-state students, this how it works is if you qualify for this academic scholarship, we have something called a fee waiver, which is obviously waived, which is that difference between in and out of state tuition. So you do qualify for that, and on top of that, you could receive even additional funding depending on which scholarship you get. So it kind of brings it down to that in-state rate. So it's a pretty big difference. So you can qualify for that. We also have something called a closed scholarship. This is in addition to any academic or merit-based scholarships you can qualify for. These are for students that are actively involved in community service and want to continue this. It's a pretty competitive scholarship, and it's about $5,000 for the year. For all 4 years you're at Winthrop, so it's $5,000 for the year. And you do have to apply for this one and provide proof of all the volunteer activities you did throughout your high school career. And of course, you have to continue volunteer and service opportunities while you're in college to keep this scholarship. We also offer Eagle STEM and AMPD. So of course, if you're in any STEM kind of major, there is for any in-state student, you guys know your life, your hope, your Palmetto Fellows, there is an additional tag on to that. Your second year at Winthrop, you can qualify for an additional funding if you are a STEM major, and you have to have a specific amount of classes in a STEM field to get this tag on. Then there's talent and athletic scholarships. So if you are a performing arts major or if you're coming in as an athlete, we do offer scholarships on that. Athletics deals with any athletic scholarship, so that wouldn't be through admissions. And typically you get recruited and work with athletics to figure out the cost of your scholarship that they're offering. And if you are in a talent scholarship, which is any visual and performing arts major, so if you're a dance major, if you're a theater major, fine arts major, design major, they do offer scholarships, which you typically have to audition for or provide a portfolio. And those are all listed on our website. You'll see the different dates and deadlines that you have to submit these items by. We do offer payment plans as well, which is where any out-of-pocket balance is divided into separate payments per month. So it eases that whole, chunk of, if you have a chunk of costs still out of pocket, you don't have to pay it all at once. You can divide it throughout the year per month. And of course, then there's that very fun application everyone knows called FAFSA. I like how everyone smiled because we know it's not fun, but it does stand for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Emphasis on the free. If you haven't heard of it, this is an application obviously through the federal government where you write information about your family's income. It's a lot of confusing questions that I always encourage students to do with their family members that know the information, and pretty much determines, this application determines if you qualify for any government grants or scholarships or loans. So I always encourage students to fill one out. Like I said, it is free. And also, depending on the school you're interested in, I would encourage you to fill it out as soon as possible. It opens up October 1st. And for example, at Winthrop, our priority deadline is November 1st, which means if you get your FAFSA into us by November 1st, you may qualify for additional grants through our financial aid office. So always get that FAFSA in as soon as possible. I did want to just kind of mention this though. Fortunately, the state of South Carolina, similar to North Carolina, classifies DACA students as out of state. And not only that, we legally technically can't award any kind of scholarships to any DACA student. That is a state thing. Unfortunately, we have to adhere to state deadlines state guidelines because we are a public university. So we can't award any kind of state or academic scholarships for our students. I apologize about that. I wish things were different. And we unfortunately don't have any kind of programs like UNCG does. So I just wanted to mention that's the one downfall about being a public university in South Carolina. That's all I had.
All right, so now for Radford University, one of the things that I tell my students all the time is that one of the things that we try to do is really limit the amount of out-of-pocket expense for students. So we try to do our best to offer a variety of different scholarship opportunities that students can take advantage of. So the very first type of scholarship opportunity is our merit-based scholarships. So currently our program is called the Highlander Distinction Program, and it is an academic merit-based scholarship opportunity. So the main thing that we're going to take into consideration for this scholarship is the student's academic record, so their transcript, GPA, things like that. But I always tell my students that the really cool thing about applying to all of our merit-based scholarships is that you actually don't have to submit a separate application to be considered for merit-based scholarships. You just have to apply for admission. And once you apply for admission, you're going to be automatically considered for all of our merit-based scholarship opportunities. For students that are DACA or undocumented students, you can still qualify for any of our merit-based scholarship opportunities. So, you know, as long as you're still completing that application for admission, you're still going to be considered for any academic-based scholarship that we offer. We also offer foundation scholarships for Radford. So really what these are really cool because it's kind of based on students' major or their program of study. So students can begin applying for foundation scholarships as they start entering their freshman year. But the great thing about the foundation scholarships is that students can start looking for these scholarships, like I said, freshman year, but every year after that. So for example, let's say that you are a business major and there is a business type specific scholarship available for you and you apply for it your freshman year, great. But let's say that there's another scholarship for business majors and you look at it your sophomore year, your junior year with us, you can still qualify. So it doesn't mean that whatever you received your freshman year, it's kind of like the end of it. You can continue to apply and be considered for foundation scholarships throughout the entire time that you're with us at Radford University, which is really an awesome thing. And one of the things that we do take a lot of pride in at Radford is making sure that our cost of attendance is affordable for our students. So currently we have about 78% of our students that receive some form of financial aid. I tell my students that if you want to be considered for additional types of financial aid, we do also ask that you submit that FAFSA application. The FAFSA application, just like it was mentioned earlier, does open on October the 1st, but the priority deadline for us at Radford is January 15th. So we do ask that you submit that FAFSA application before that date. I recommend that students submit it as soon as they can, just because funds on FAFSA are like on a first come, first serve basis, right? It's like a big pile of money, and then the people that apply early on get the most of it, and whatever's left over is left for everyone else that applies later on. So definitely try to get that in as soon as possible. It just gives you more opportunities to be considered for more additional types of financial aid.
And speaking on behalf of Randolph College, like the past two schools have said, first and foremost, I think the biggest thing will be FAFSA. Get that in as soon as possible. That is probably the key thing there. But then as far as other opportunities, as far as scholarships and things like that and financial things, merit-based will be the other key. So because we are test optional, your merit-based will be mostly based off your transcripts and things like that. But then outside of that, we have what we call a Let and Rise scholarship competition. So for students with a 3.0 and above, they have to be applied and admitted in order to attend our scholarship event. But there's another chance, an opportunity there for you to earn some additional scholarship money. And then we also have a fine arts performance scholarship. So for students that are involved in music, dance, theater, even art, things like that, there's another scholarship opportunity there. We have a trustee award, which is a little specific, but still currently being worked on and ironed out as far as details. But then we also accept outside scholarships. So outside scholarships, any clubs, organizations, anything that you can find locally. We have a search engine on our website that'll lead you into different scholarship opportunities as well. And they're all thorough, they're all legit. So it's, it's nothing that'll, kind of take you all over the place, anything like that. But like I said, different opportunities for you to find scholarships that in past situations, we've had students find a scholarship that no one else had applied for, so they received literally all of the money that that scholarship had to offer. So it's opportunities like that out there for you. So please be mindful and be aware of scholarships that you may qualify for, things like that. But then we also offer a presidential scholarship opportunity. So for students with very high academic honors and that are also involved in the community or different clubs and organizations, that one can go a long way because that is our biggest scholarship, and only a handful of students will be awarded with that. Like literally 5 or 6 students will be awarded with that. But that'll also take care of a good chunk of your tuition and room and board. So please be mindful of all those opportunities. But the biggest thing is to have those conversations with your counselors, ask as many questions as possible, talk to the financial aid, because our financial aid does really well talking to families about looking at payment plans, loan options, just so getting it to a point where you're looking at everything that you need to, so you're not surprised when you look at how much you're paying out of pocket. So ask questions and talk to your counselors.
So my colleague says, it is important for you to fill out FAFSA. That's the one thing that you have to be on top of. And the application starts on October 1st, and the prior deadline is until January 15th. So make sure you do your FAFSA. At UNCG, we do offer academic merit-based scholarships, and those are for the 4 years of your studies. We also have academic merit and need-based awards. We have like the Blue and Gold Scholarship. We have the Deans and Chancellors Scholarship and Awards. We have UNCG Guarantee, and that one is offered for in-state students only, and it's mostly like a full ride. It pays for everything, including transportation, books, even study abroad expenses, and that is for high achievers and is for low-income families. Now, for DACA and undocumented students, they're eligible for our merit, awards and our need-based awards as well, because we do have funding that comes from private, funding, not specifically from the state or the federal. So those are the ones that, our DACA students, our undocumented students will be eligible for, which are academic merit scholarships and merit and need-based awards. Also, we offer departmental scholarships. Every major, they do have their own scholarships. We offer payment plans and outside scholarships. And we're going to be providing, resources for our DACA and undocumented students where to apply, for a scholarship and grants. And we'll be talking about that, a little bit later. We also offer athletic scholarships. And, we also offer, we're working on being a Hispanic serving institution. And we're on, actually only 2 universities, are moving towards that goal. And by being on that track, our students are eligible to apply for scholarships that are specifically for Hispanic Latino students. So if you have any questions, feel free to call our office. Our office in admissions, we talk to families and students about financial aid. We help them do the FAFSA. I know that our families and our students, they have unique situations, and we guide them through the process of applying FAFSA or any scholarships and how to do it. If your parents are undocumented but you are a U.S. citizen, we guide you on how to complete that FAFSA application, because if you're a U.S. citizen, regardless of your parents' immigration status, you are eligible for FAFSA. Okay, so let us know if you have any questions, and we'll be happy to help you.
All right, so what kind of resources do all of us offer that make us, I guess, unique for our populations on campus? So the first and foremost, we have diversity dialogues. We have a lot of sessions or events called culture events where you actually do need to collect a certain number of culture events to graduate from Winthrop, where we actually put emphasis on diversity dialogues, where we have different students or presenters come speak in about their cultural experience, and just have that conversation going, have that allow an open and safe environment for students to ask questions and get to know one another, which we really thrive upon at Winthrop. We are one of the most diverse schools in South Carolina, which we're really proud of. On top of that, we actually even have an office called the Office of Diversity and Student Engagement that really focus on expanding this diversity on campus. And not only that, getting all these students involved in the conversation. So it's really important for our students to be exposed to a number of different cultures. We also have a program called International Ambassadors. This is something I was a part of as an international student. I'm from Slovenia and Greece, but I can say that this program was really great because you kind of represent your own culture and your background on Winthrop's campus. So if you volunteer in this program, you're actively involved in all the international events that the university puts on. Each semester, we have a specific week where we designate it for our international population on campus. Regardless of where you're from, you come in and participate in presentations and cultural shows, food tasting, tea time with international students. We have this program called the Global Partner Program, where international students are paired up with American citizens or American students to create this friend group to get to know one another better and basically spread that cultural diversity on campus. We, of course, on top of that, we have clubs and organizations as well. And you can always create a club and organization on campus by yourself. It's not really hard to do. You just need a number of people, a sign-in sheet, and an advisor to create any kind of program at Winthrop, which we see a lot of our students doing with any language or cultural clubs on campus.
All right, so now for Radford University, one of actually my personal favorites on campus is the Center for Diversity and Inclusion. For short, we call it CDI. And I love what they do for our students because throughout the year, they put on a variety of different events just to make sure that we are celebrating our heritage and where we come from. And it's fun to get involved in those different events just to celebrate our multicultural campus. And one of the really cool things about this center is that they provide so many different resources for students, everything from the laptop loaner program that we offer. They have a really cool meditation room so that you can meditate between classes and things like that. And then they also have free printing services. So if you need to print a paper right before class or anything like that, you can go there and receive those services at CDI. But really, I think the number one thing that the CDI does for our students is just making sure that we are emphasizing that we are a diverse campus and also an inclusive campus, and we want to welcome all students at our university and just make sure that they are feeling comfortable within our institution. And to continue with that conversation, we have the Latino Student Alliance organization on campus, and they do so many different things also in partnership with CDI, where they also put on a variety of different events. They provide a safe space for students that are wanting to learn more about cultural awareness and different things like that. So for any students that are Latinx, Hispanic, I'd highly recommend joining this club just because it gives you an opportunity to meet other students that are similar to you. You have, similar experiences, so it's definitely a great opportunity for you to find a support system on campus with other students that are similar to you. And then lastly, we have a freshman seminar at Radford, and it's called University 100. And I love to point this out to students because it's actually a class that is not required for students, but it is highly recommended. And I recommend that this seminar is taken by our students just because they have so many different resources that are made available to our students within the class. So for example, if you are needing, to maybe shape up a little bit with your time management skills, or you need some additional assistance, finding out how to study for different classes, all of those various things, you do have your seminar instructor that works with you you to help you transition between the high school experience and the college experience. And you will also receive a peer instructor so that you don't feel like you're doing anything on your own. They're kind of like a mentor to you, so that once you attend Radford, you have someone that you can go to, whether it's for additional resources that you may need as you transition to college life, but also to have someone to support you and help you get involved on campus. Because part of your college experience, networking and meeting other people and having a vibrant college experience, we want you to get involved and really have a fulfilling career, not just in your academics, but overall in everything that you do within college.
And for Randolph College, the biggest thing, well, yeah, first and foremost, when you come in as a first year student, you're going to go through, well, one, you have the opportunity to go through what we call our STAR program. STAR program is for any student that wants to be a part of it, but it's an early transition. You come to school a little bit before everyone else gets there, and you basically go through how to transition into becoming a college student. So you'll be coursed in clubs and how to study tips, meeting, going out and exploring as far as the college scenarios go, things like that. But at the same time, also getting to learn more about your Davenport leaders. So Davenport leaders are people who, so juniors, seniors from the college, but they lead a group of students, a group of incoming first years. And they basically just go over other strategies, topics, things like that, getting you to go explore the college in different ways. So it may be events that they will host, showing you how to prepare for courses, going over the necessary steps in becoming a college student in that transition. But then the other thing after that was the Latinx Club. So Latinx Club for us is basically another resource for students with the Latino background or Hispanic background to come in and obviously meet with other students at the college of the same descent. But then at the same time, you're being put in situations where you're growing and learning as a club. Like I said, you're now having friends and people to connect with. But then you're also, for instance, in our club, you're working with finding resources for future incoming students and things like that, and working with our Presidential Alliance Club, and then how to network, things like that, coming together. There will be events and opportunities based on your backgrounds and things like that. So potlucks to events to showing off your heritage and things like that. So there are many different ways and resources. And actually the president of the Latinx Club has told me to extend to you guys, if you do have questions and want to reach out, I can put you in touch with her to learn more specific details about the club. So please, if you feel like you want to learn more about it, just reach out to me and I can get you connected with her. No problem at all. But those would be the biggest things for transitioning and coming in as a college student.
Okay. Well, we're going to speed it up a little bit since we might be running out of time, and we want to cover all we have planned to share with you this morning. At UNC Greensboro, we do offer all the services that other universities and colleges do, like the ones that my colleagues have mentioned, like Latinx student associations. We have Latinx fraternities and sororities, and we have the Office of Intercultural Engagement, with same services like other institutions. But the two main things that I want to share with you this morning is that we have Alianza, which is our staff and faculty Latino Association, which is a network within the university that supports our Latino and Hispanic students in anything they might need. And also the Office of Latino Education Affairs, which I and Margarita, who we did not introduce at the beginning, but we're both part of the Office of Latino Education Affairs and Hablamos Español. So we do connect with the students, not just with the admissions process, but all the way to graduation. And we help the families with questions, any issues they might have. As I said, from the very beginning, from the application process throughout the end of your career or your studies here at UNC Greensboro. So if there's anything you need, We're here to support you, to help you. Any questions, you can reach out to us, and we'll be here to help you solve any issues you might have, or also provide you with different options so you can take advantage of what we have to offer. So we're gonna move quickly to our next slide, which is the resources for DACA and undocumented students. Please take note of all these links. And these organizations, they offer support, for DACA and undocumented students, and also they offer scholarships and grants. I encourage you to apply to as many scholarships as grants as you can, regardless of the amount. The smaller the amount it is, the easier it is to get it. So apply as many as you can. If you have to apply, to 500 awards, just apply to 20 of them, to 10 of them. And as I said, there's a lot of money up there, but you have to apply, and do not give up on your dreams. I encourage you to keep going. And I have known several students that have applied to these scholarships, and they have got full rides. So please apply. And I'm gonna let my colleagues share a little bit.
Katia,
Yes.
I would just tell them to quickly take a picture.
Great idea.
Yes, that way this presentation, I think it was mentioned, won't be available for another week. So if you have your phone right next to you, or if you're watching us on your phone, take a quick screenshot, because these are great resources, especially for those schools like Winthrop that may not offer scholarships or any kind of scholarships to our DACA undocumented. We do accept outside scholarships. So definitely apply and get involved with any of these organizations. So take a quick picture.
Yes, and if you have any questions, feel free to call any of us, and as I said, my office, Margarita and I work with Latino students and family, and we have a lot of experience with DACA and undocumented students and the different resources, that they can tap into it. And this is our contact information. And please feel free to contact us. And for UNC Greensboro, we have a custom, view book. So if you access the link, you're gonna be able to access a digital brochure tailored according to your interest. Is there anything else you wanna share before we jump into a few questions? Okay, well, we have enjoyed sharing this time with you. And Margarita, are there any questions from our audience?
We already
You already answered them. Okay, thank you so much. I know you have done a great job, monitoring the questions and answering them for us.
We just got a question if all these presentations are going to be online. And yes, these are available a week after. They're actually going to be uploaded to a YouTube as a YouTube video, because these sessions are all recorded. So they will be available in about a week.
Oh, and also we have another, do you offer tours in Spanish?
Yes, we do. And if they cannot come to campus, then we do offer virtual tours as well.
And Annie, Guadalupe.
At this moment, specifically separately from our admissions tours, we don't have one in Spanish, but we do have bilingual admissions counselors that if we do get a case where we need to give a presentation and a tour in Spanish, we do have that option, yes. But it's not listed on an account. It's you have to request one so that we can alert the counselor.
Yeah. The other thing I want to share too is that at UNC Greensboro, we offer open house sessions. We have, visit days. We have programs that are in Spanish, for our families. And one of the greatest programs that we have is called Chance. And it is a camp, a summer camp, for Hispanic Latinx students, for rising juniors and seniors. They get to spend a whole week at UNCG and get a taste of what a college student life is. And it's pretty much free. We only charge $65 for a full week. And that's staying in the dorms, eating at the cafeteria, participating in all of our programs, you know, taking some classes, getting the opportunity to talk to professors according to the majors, you know, of interest. So it's a very unique and special opportunity. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. Applications are not open until December, so let us know if you're interested.
We have more questions. Guadalupe, do you want to say something?
Just real quick, for Radford University, for any parents or students that are interested in a Spanish session, the link that you see there on the screen is a link direct to my admissions presentation that I actually give in Spanish. So please feel free to check that out. And also on that page, you can find all of the resources and admissions information in Spanish for students and families. So definitely check that out.
Well, thank you for being with us this morning.
I have to just quickly go to the back slide. Someone just asked if we can quickly show the links before our session ends, with all the resources.
Yeah.
Right before our session's right about to end. Hopefully they'll be able to take a quick picture.
Thank you. And another question very quick, with the pandemic, what are your numbers of Latinx students at your school?
I don't know a specific number at Randolph. I will say we do have I'd say a pretty decent sized community. I will say our minority rate is 40% in overall. So I'm not sure about the total number of students exactly.
Well, thank you for being with us this morning. Please do not give up on your dreams.
Thank you, students, so much for joining us. At the close of this window, you'll have a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We really appreciate your feedback from this session. Once again, this is one of many sessions being hosted, so sign up for additional sessions at CACRAO.org. That's CACRAO.org. In about a week, just said before, you'll be able to find these sessions recording along with other sessions on the same website. And we hope you sign up for other sessions. So thank you so much. Thank you, presenters. We hope you enjoyed the session.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Can we ask the question, the remind question?
Sorry, I have to end the meeting.
Yeah.
All
Bye.
right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.